Hey everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So it has been a very long time no see, and I am planning to hit the ground running again and make content every week for the rest of this term so that you guys can get like a proper insight into life at LSE. So I'm currently second year student studying maths and econ at LSE, for those of you who don't know. And yeah, I thought to start off with we'd do a little bit of an exam week vlog for my January exam, and then at the end of the week I had a really fun trip planned to Edinburgh, so I've also filmed that and put that in the vlog just to balance out like the stress and the fun in the same place. Okay, so it's Monday morning, we are on the way to campus because I have a meeting at 10. And yeah, I'm super tired. We haven't been to campus in literally like a month, so I'm already ready to go home. But the meeting should be quite fun. It's about like social media, like planning it out for the rest of the time, because basically I work as like part-time like communications assistant for the LSE Volunteer Centre. So yeah, I haven't seen them in a few weeks either, so I'm kind of excited. This is just a little sneak preview of our walk to campus. We live about 10 minutes away from the tube station, so we're just walking there right now. We actually have to take 2 tubes to campus, but we're only on each one for about 5 minutes, so I really don't think the commute is too bad. And here we are arriving at campus. This is the LSE library, and I'm just taking the lift up to the 3rd floor because that is where my meeting was being held. Okay, so we're on our way back from campus now. Stopped off at prep, but I got hot chocolate with the wrong milk, so I'm not actually really enjoying it. It's kind of tragic, but on my way back to revision. This is where I'm actually drinking my hot chocolate because I really did not like the taste. Wait, can we reach? Guys, I broke the blind. Okay, so for lunch today we decided to make some tomato pasta, and as you can see my pasta is literally the most childlike looking dish you've ever seen, but it tasted good, so that's all that matters. And here's Vamshi doing the washing up. She got me into watching Doctor Who, so for our exam season we've just been watching 1 episode a day at lunch as just like a little break from revision. Okay, so this is me just obviously highlighting some revision notes, and this is probably a good point to explain what my exam was actually for, because I haven't actually touched on that yet. So my exam was in EC2C3, which was my introductory econometrics module, and this was something I actually found really hard throughout the term, but as I was going through revision, and hopefully I did it quite thoroughly, like I found out that I was enjoying it a lot more than I was when I was learning it, so that was actually a real positive of all of this. Okay, so it's now Tuesday morning, and I think like the stress and the pressure of the exam is starting to get to me a little bit more. It's just a lot that I have to do in like 2 days. So I've got a lot still left to memorize. I have a lot of questions. I've also got a meeting today. I was supposed to have 2, but thankfully actually one of them's been moved to later in the week, so that gives me a little bit more time today, which is nice. But I also have like a personal statement kind of thing to write for civil service, but unfortunately just the way that timing worked out, the deadline for me submitting like this next stage of the application is about 3 hours after my exam finishes on Thursday, and I don't want to leave it until then because I'm not confident that it'll get done, and I'm not confident that it'll like be at my best or anything either. So I've got to do that today too, because I also want tomorrow, because it's the last day of revision, and literally just be revision and nothing else. Like I don't want to have anything else weighing on my mind. So today is a bit of a hectic day, I think. This is me just writing a few more flashcards. So this is me just entering my meeting with Mind. So I'm actually working with them as a student champion for the 27/27 cause in March, which I'll be showing a lot more of in like future vlogs. But yeah, this is just kind of an introductory meeting after the new year. It's like 8:45 and we just got to the library. Our exam is at 10, but we've got to be there before, so we've probably got like 45 minutes. So I'm just gonna sit and like go through some flashcards. But yeah, I feel like the reality hasn't really hit me yet, which is probably not a good thing. I feel like there's a lot of things that are in my head, but there's also a lot that like aren't in my head. So I don't know how this is gonna go, but hopefully it'll be okay. Honestly, I'm just counting on the fact that it's almost over and we get to go to Edinburgh tonight, because I'm just so tired. But just don't really want to be thinking about this anymore. But I think at this point, like once I actually started going through the flashcards, I actually started to feel a little bit more confident in my ability to get through the exam, because I kind of selected flashcards on topics that I was like struggling a bit more with during revision, and I was finding that as I was going through them, actually I was kind of getting the right answers and understanding the concepts. So at this point, I think my confidence levels kind of rose a little bit, and I went into the exam a little bit calmer than I expected. So that definitely really helped me. So this is straight after the exam and getting some celebratory potato wedges in Greggs because they're my favourite. So we're like 6 hours post-exam and I don't really know how to feel. I feel like kind of doesn't feel like it was today. I feel like today's been kind of insane because we finished our exam and then we kind of came straight back and we had to write I had to write my civil service application because that was due in at like 4 p.m. and then as soon as I finished that I had to join like a work meeting which was like almost an hour. So by then it was already 5 and time's just flying today, and I feel like I don't know, I haven't really stopped and like thought about it too much yet, but I think it went okay. I feel like it got harder as the questions went on, which I guess is maybe to be expected, and I also was starting to run out of time, so I feel like my answers to the questions towards the end of the paper probably weren't that great. But I definitely feel like I've done enough to pass, which is all I need, I suppose, so I think it's okay. Anything like above 60 I'll be happy with, but I don't know, it's one of those papers where I feel like either I'll have just like scraped a pass or I'll have got like a lot more marks than I was expecting, so I don't know, we'll see what happens, I guess. Our coach to Edinburgh is at like 10:30. It's now like 6:30, so we need to leave here in like 3 hours. I haven't packed anything, I haven't even planned out like what we're gonna do in Edinburgh tomorrow, so I guess that's my next job. I don't know, it feels like today is just never ending, but kind of in a nice way now because there's nothing to like stress about. But I just want to go to Edinburgh. I've never been to Scotland, so this is kind of exciting. Oh my gosh, we are currently walking to the tube station to get to the coach station to get to Edinburgh, which is possibly the most insane thing we've ever done. We're about to spend 9.5 hours on a coach from London all the way to Edinburgh, and then we're going to do it all over again tomorrow night. So we'll see how this turns out, but hopefully we make it in time. We've got to get some snacks, So this is obviously us on the tube to Victoria. I don't know what I was doing, and we actually got an empty tube carriage, which for like 10 o'clock at night on a Thursday was pretty impressive. And clearly here we've arrived at the coach station, and this is our coach, which is our home overnight for the next 9 hours. It was a very interesting night. Did not get a lot of sleep, but it was definitely worth it. This was our McDonald's pit stop at about 3 a.m. in the morning, and this is us back on the coach and watching some Doctor Who because neither of us could really sleep, but this actually ended up making me really travel sick, so it was kind of tragic, but And at about 7:45 in the morning we finally made it to Edinburgh, and we were so early that the sun hadn't even risen yet. We made it to Edinburgh and it's freezing. It's genuinely significantly colder than London, but it's so pretty. It's so pretty. We just stopped at McDonald's, ate some pancakes for breakfast, which were much needed. I don't think either of us got like any proper sleep on the coach. We probably had a few hours of like half a sleep, but no hours of like sleep. So it's gonna be a long day, but I'm very excited. We're walking to the Royal Mile right now, and then we're gonna head to the museum. This was such a cute shop, and this is just me trying to get some clips of the sunlight coming off the top of the buildings in the morning, but honestly I am not doing it justice. There was too many things in the way and my camera skills are not good enough to make it look aesthetic, but just trust me, it was a lot prettier than it looks. We were basically just taking a really leisurely walk up the Royal Mile towards Edinburgh Castle, which was basically our like first main stop of the day, and this was just a really cute shop. I love this so much. I don't know what these were for, but we found some really funky mirrors right by the castle. Because we reached Edinburgh so early in the morning, we actually made it to Edinburgh Castle before 9:30, so there were basically no crowds when we got there, which meant it was perfect for taking pictures and just really enjoying it without all the crowds. There were great views of basically the whole of Edinburgh. Trees were kind of in the way on the other side, but it was a really nice way to start the day. So after this we were headed to the National Museum, but we made a pit stop at this super cute street so I could take a ton of pictures for Instagram. So we made it to the museum at 10:30 in the morning, having already covered a lot of ground, so we were pretty impressed with ourselves at this point. But yeah, not gonna lie, our main motivation for coming here was their Doctor Who exhibit, because she's a giant fan. So yeah, this is just a few clips of us enjoying the museum, and yeah, it was just really cool to see some of the things I'd actually seen in the show. So this is a little clip of Banshee playing around with a Dalek voice changer, which you are about to hear the result of. So having completed the Doctor Who exhibit and basically dedicating the rest of our morning to that, it was about midday and we were free to explore the rest of the museum for a bit. So again, these are just a few clips of us just enjoying our time, having a bit of a play around.
Wait, look at my hand. Is that going into my hand?
No.
So by this point we were getting pretty hungry and ready for lunch, so this is just the last couple clips of us exploring the museum, and then yeah, we decided to just head out and see if we could find a Tesco's or somewhere we could pick up a meal deal. And on our way to Tesco's we found this really cute Harry Potter shop, so of course we had to make a stop. So having successfully found a Tesco and picked up a meal deal, we headed to the University of Edinburgh campus to make a pit stop for our lunch and have a bit of an explore. But after sitting outside in the cold for a little while, we were freezing and we headed into the uni library, where we actually got some free day passes just to have a bit of an explore around, which was really fun.
Somehow Google Maps thinks we can walk up to the top of that in half an hour. So we're going to test it out. Don't really reckon our chances, not going to lie.
So we were on a little bit of a time limit because we had something else booked back in the centre, and after realising that both us and Google Maps had been very overambitious about our ability to reach the top of Arthur's Seat in that time, we just found the smallest hill we could and got to the top of that, but the views were still really incredible, as you can see, so it was definitely worth it. So by this point it was about 3:30 in the afternoon, and our next port of call was the Scottish Parliament, and as a little bit of a politics nerd, this was honestly so cool to see. I really enjoyed this tour, and the best thing about it was that it was completely free. So this is editing me just making a little bit of an interlude here, because I didn't really film a lot else of Edinburgh after we left the Scottish Parliament, because it was about 5 p.m. at this point and it was already going dark. It was really cold and there wasn't really much else to film. So yeah, I thought I'd just kind of fill in the gap of what we did. So we headed up from Scottish Parliament up the rest of the Royal Mile, which we hadn't covered earlier in the day, and this gave me a chance to go on a wild mission to find a Highland cow teddy. And after that it was probably about 6, and yeah, we still had like 3 hours to kill until the coach, so we basically just headed for like the high street because we knew that those shops would stay open for a while, and we managed to do quite a bit of successful shopping, so well done us. And then by like 7ish, most of the shops were like starting to close, and we kind of covered like any shop we were interested in. So we headed to Burger King and we sat there for a while, and then we headed to McDonald's and sat there for a while. At this point, like, did feel a little bit like killing time, but also like our feet were so tired from walking all day that it was just nice to sit down and just chat to each other and just relax for a bit. We headed back to the coach at like 9:15 maybe, to make sure we were there in plenty of time for it to leave at 10 to 10. And yeah, that was the end of our Edinburgh adventure. Although we were very sad to be saying goodbye to Edinburgh, I think after walking about 15 kilometres in the day and being on about 2 hours of sleep, we were also just very glad to be back on the coach and heading home for a proper sleep in a proper bed. After another long night on the coach, this is us arriving back in London at about 7 a.m. So again, after we got home, I didn't really film anything else because we managed to get back at about 7:30 in the morning, and we were just so exhausted that we both just collapsed into bed and slept through literally until like Saturday afternoon. So again, this is just editing me popping in to end the vlog here. I really hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that it's been a really nice insight both into exam season and also just a little bit of like a fun trip at the end as well. And yeah, I will be back with plenty more content on LSE and just student life for the rest of this year. So don't forget to like if you enjoyed the video, and please do subscribe if you aren't already if you want to see more content like this, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.